The chamber of the Galactic Council shone with white light, its walls lined with crystal pillars that reached high into the ceiling. Around a massive circular table, hundreds of alien leaders gathered. Some had tall frames covered in scales, some had soft glowing skin, and some had mechanical voices that echoed like machines. All were silent as the head speaker rose. The speaker was from the Draal, a proud and ancient race that claimed to guide younger species. His long arms spread wide as he began. "Members of the Council, today we speak of Earth," he declared. "A small world, too bold for its own safety. Humans are restless, reckless, and stubborn. They build without permission. They spread into the stars without order. This cannot continue." The chamber filled with murmurs. Some leaders nodded, others tapped their claws or tails against the floor in thought. To most of them, Earth was a name often spoken but never feared. They had all seen reports of humans mining moons, building space stations, and exploring regions that were forbidden to young races. One leader, a soft-voiced elder from the Ilari, raised a hand. "But they are still young. Can they truly threaten the council?" Another voice, sharp and mocking, answered. "Threaten? They do not threaten. They disobey. That is worse. If we let humans act as they wish, other young worlds will follow. The order we built will fall apart." The council chamber grew louder. Different voices argued, some for mercy, most for punishment. In the end, the speaker raised his arms again and silenced the hall. "The humans must be taught a lesson. We will send a fleet. We will break their defenses and force them to kneel before the council. They must learn who rules this galaxy." A wave of approval swept the chamber. Many members pounded their hands against the table in support. The decision was made. Votes were counted, and the majority agreed, Earth would be placed under control. Far across the stars, on Earth itself, the decision had not yet reached the people. Life continued as usual. Children played under blue skies, workers filled cities with energy, and scientists prepared new ships for deep space missions. But in hidden bases under oceans and mountains, secret councils of humans already knew the truth. For years, Earth's leaders had heard whispers that the council would one day turn against them. They studied history of other young species who had been forced into obedience. Some worlds had their fleets taken, others had their colonies stripped away, and many were left as nothing more than servants to the older races. Humans had decided long ago that they would not suffer the same fate. Quietly, without showing their strength, they built defenses. Great cannons were hidden on moons. Drone swarms rested in silence across asteroid belts. Satellites that looked like simple machines held weapons inside them. Even entire fleets of human warships were kept in secret, built in distant stations where no council eye could see. On Earth, President Daniel stood before a group of generals. He was calm, his voice steady, though the weight of the galaxy pressed on his shoulders. "We knew this day would come," he said. "The council believes we are weak. They think we will bow as others did. But they do not understand us. We will not kneel. We will show them that Earth does not break." The generals stood firm. Some were young, with fire in their eyes, others older with years of battles behind them. All agreed that humanity must fight for survival. Back in the council chamber, alien leaders celebrated their choice. They believed their fleets would reach Earth within weeks, and the humans would surrender before the first city was touched. None of them believed that humans could resist. To them, humans were still children playing with tools they barely understood. But as the stars watched in silence, two truths stood ready to collide. On one side, the council, powerful and proud, certain of victory. On the other, Earth, patient and prepared, ready to show a strength no one expected. The war had not yet begun, but the seeds were planted. Soon the galaxy would learn that the humans of Earth were not as weak as the Council believed. The blackness of space was calm as three great fleets moved across the stars. Their hulls glowed with silver lights, engines burning with power. The council had chosen 3 of its oldest member races to deliver the punishment, the Draal, the Koran, and the Ilari. Together they commanded more than 200 ships, each built for war. Their commanders spoke with confidence as the fleets passed through the final jump gate. To them, this was no war. It was only a mission to bring order. Humans are unprepared, the Draal commander said to his allies. They will surrender before our cannons warm. The Koran captain laughed, a sound that echoed like grinding stone. If they resist, their cities will burn. But I expect white flags, not battles. The Ilari leader, calm and patient, said nothing. She had studied humans more closely than the others. Though she agreed to the mission, a quiet doubt rested in her mind. As the fleets drew near the edge of the solar system, they saw what looked like only small satellites drifting among the stars. No defense fleets came to meet them. No human warships challenged them. The Draal commander smiled. See? They hide like frightened children. But when the first ship moved closer, the truth revealed itself. From the shadow of an asteroid, a hidden station came alive. Panels slid open, and a cannon longer than the ship itself unfolded. A blinding light shot through the darkness, striking the lead vessel of the Draal fleet. The warship exploded into fire before it could even raise its shields. At the same time, dozens of satellites lit up across the system. What looked like harmless machines became weapons. Lasers burned through shields, missiles darted forward like hunting birds, and swarms of small drones launched themselves toward the invading fleets. The Koran commander shouted orders. Shields up. Return fire. Destroy everything. His ships fired massive beams into the asteroid belt, breaking apart rocks, but more cannons appeared from hiding. Each asteroid seemed to carry a secret weapon. The council fleets had expected silence. Instead, they faced a storm. Back on Earth, hidden control centers glowed with light as human officers gave commands. Young men and women sat at screens, guiding drones, tracking enemy ships, and releasing codes to awaken new weapons. In one control room under the Pacific Ocean, General Harris stood tall before his officers. They think we are weak. Show them our strength. Do not let them pass the outer line. His words carried across the system through encrypted channels. Human fleets hidden near Jupiter began to move, their engines silent but their weapons ready. They did not charge yet. They waited for the Council to bleed against Earth's first wall. In space, chaos spread. The Ilari leader, watching her ships fall under precise strikes, realized what had happened. They prepared. For years they prepared in secret. Her voice trembled, not in fear but in respect. The Draal commander grew furious. Impossible. They are children. They cannot stand against us. But his fury did not change the truth. Already 10 of his ships were gone, burned by weapons he had never seen before. The humans did not waste words. They sent only a single message to the fleets. The signal carried to every enemy ship, written in calm and clear human language, you entered our home without peace. Leave now, or face the cost. The message shook even the proud Koran captain. He had fought many young races, but none had dared speak with such calm certainty. Still, the council fleets pressed forward. More ships fired on the hidden defenses, breaking through some, but every step cost them dearly. For every weapon destroyed, 2 more appeared. The humans had turned their solar system into a fortress. On Earth, citizens watched news reports with wide eyes. Many were afraid, but many more felt a fire in their hearts. For the first time, they saw their world stand as one. Nations that once argued now fought together. Soldiers from every land wore the same badge, the symbol of Earth. By the end of the first day, the council fleets had lost more than 30 ships. The humans had lost only a handful of drones and stations. The attackers retreated to regroup at the edge of the system, stunned by the resistance. The Droll commander shouted to his officers, "This is not war. This is a trap." His pride was wounded, but he refused to admit defeat. The Ilari leader spoke softly to herself. If they can strike like this at home, what will they do beyond their home? The Koran captain stared at the human message still glowing on his screen. His stone-like face was unreadable, but his silence told the truth. He had expected victory. Instead, he found doubt. Far away, in the council chamber, news of the battle began to spread. Reports of human defenses, destroyed fleets, and the burning wreckage of proud warships echoed through the crystal walls. The members of the council sat in shock. No young race had ever answered force with force. The chamber filled with voices of disbelief. Some demanded more fleets. Some demanded negotiations. For the first time in centuries, the council was divided. And across the stars, the humans prepared for what was to come. They knew the first strike was only the beginning. The news of the first battle spread faster than light across the galaxy. Everywhere, voices rose in disbelief. The council fleets had been defeated at the edge of Earth's system. Dozens of ships were gone, and humans had survived the assault. In the crystal chamber of the Galactic Council, members argued with anger and fear. The tall Droll representative slammed his claws on the table. "This is a shame. Our fleets were humiliated by children. We must send more ships. Crush them before they grow bolder." From the other side of the table, the Ilari representative stood with calm eyes. "Do not call them children anymore. What we saw was no accident. Humans prepared for years. They fought with skill and courage. If we press harder, we may lose more than pride." The chamber shook with noise. Some demanded war without end. Others warned that the humans were different from past races. For the first time in many cycles, the council was not united. Merchants across the galaxy also felt the shock. Human colonies had been small, but they had been trading secretly for years. Traders now whispered that Earth had bought alien designs and built their own versions in hidden yards. Some merchants even admitted they had sold humans weapons against council law. Fear spread that the humans might now strike beyond their own system. On distant worlds, ordinary people heard the news with mixed feelings. Some cheered for humanity, admiring their courage. Others worried that if humans rose too high, they might challenge the balance of the galaxy. Stories spread quickly, stories of drones swarming like insects, of cannons hidden in rocks, of council fleets burning in silence. Many of these stories were exaggerated, but they all carried the same truth: Earth had done what no young world had ever done. Meanwhile, on Earth itself, leaders met once again in secret chambers deep underground. President Daniel faced his generals and scientists. His voice was steady. "They have seen our defenses. Now they know we will fight. But this is only the first step. The council will return with greater force. We cannot wait for them to strike again. We must take the fight to them." General Harris agreed, his eyes sharp with determination. "Yes, sir. If we stay behind our walls, they will gather a storm to break us. But if we strike their supply lines, their gates, their stations, they will fear us." The room filled with quiet tension. To attack first was bold, even dangerous. Yet no one argued. Humanity had crossed a line already. There was no path back to silence. Across the galaxy, spies of the council listened to every rumor. They reported human warships gathering near Jupiter, new fleets leaving hidden docks, and encrypted messages moving faster than ever before. Each report made the council chamber more uneasy. The Koran representative, whose fleets had lost heavily in the first strike, spoke with a harsh growl. "Humans are dangerous. They are not like others we controlled. They do not break. If we do not destroy them now, they will one day rise against us all." But a softer voice came from a younger race's representative. Perhaps we should not destroy them. Perhaps we should learn from them. They defended their world with unity. That is not weakness. That is strength. The words shocked many, for no one had dared to praise humans so openly before. Still, the thought lingered. Could the council truly control such a people, or would the attempt only forge a stronger enemy? In human cities, the mood was changing as well. Fear still touched every heart, but pride grew stronger. News channels spoke of victories, of brave crews who guided drones into enemy ships, of stations that fired until they were destroyed. Families honored those who had fallen. Children spoke of becoming pilots, engineers, or soldiers for Earth. For the first time in history, humanity felt not divided by nations but united as one world. Among the stars, smaller races began to watch closely. The tailor, a quiet people long under council control, whispered to one another. If humans could resist, perhaps they too could dream of freedom. The spark of rebellion began to spread, faint but real. Back in the council chamber, a final report arrived from the fleets near Earth. It confirmed what none wished to believe. More than 30 ships were destroyed. Hundreds of lives were lost. And humans had lost almost nothing. Silence fell across the chamber. The speaker of the council, proud and ancient, spoke in a low voice. This is not the end. The humans must be punished. Prepare more fleets. Prepare more weapons. They will bow, or they will burn. Yet even as he spoke, doubt rested in the hearts of many. The council had faced countless young races before, but never one like Earth. And somewhere in the deep black between stars, human fleets already moved. They did not wait for the next attack. They prepared to strike first, to show the galaxy that Earth was not prey, but a hunter rising in the dark. The stars near Earth were quiet once more. The council fleets, damaged and humiliated, had pulled back to repair and regroup. They expected the humans to stay behind their defenses, hiding in the safety of their solar system. But Earth had no plan to wait. In a dark chamber beneath the Atlantic, President Daniel met again with his closest generals and advisors. The air was heavy with silence, broken only by the hum of machines. Maps of star systems glowed on the table, showing the routes of council supply lines and the positions of jump gates. Daniel spoke with a steady voice. If we wait, they will return with more ships. They will bring a storm large enough to crush our defenses. We must not wait for that. We must strike first. General Harris leaned forward. His face was sharp with resolve. Our fleets are ready. We built them for this moment. Small strike groups can move faster than the council armadas. We can cut their supply lines, destroy their fuel depots, and cripple their stations. If we show them that we can reach beyond our home, they will fear us. Some advisors were cautious. If we strike, the council may see us as a true enemy. They may unite all their fleets against us. Daniel did not waver. They already see us as an enemy. The choice has been taken from us. The only path left is forward. The decision was made. Humanity would carry the war into enemy space. Within days, the hidden shipyards near Jupiter released their first fleets. Sleek vessels of human design, built with stolen blueprints and improved with human creativity, slid into the darkness. Their hulls bore no flags of nations, only the symbol of Earth, a blue circle holding a single bright star. These ships did not travel in massive formations like the council armadas. Instead, they moved in small groups, quick and agile. They carried weapons designed for precision and surprise. Each fleet was guided by commanders chosen not only for skill but for daring minds. Humans had no interest in slow battles of numbers. They aimed to strike like lightning. The first counterattack came at a council fuel station near the Vale cluster. The station floated calmly in space, guarded by only a few patrol ships. The guards expected nothing. The war was far away, and the humans were thought to be caged in their system. But in the silence, a ripple of light appeared as a human fleet exited a hidden jump path. Before the patrol ships could react, missiles streaked across the void. The station shook with fire. Drones poured out like a swarm of metal birds, disabling engines and tearing through defenses. In less than an hour, the station was gone, its wreckage drifting in the dark. The council was stunned. More reports followed. Another human group disabled a communications hub. A third seized control of a jump gate and held it long enough to disrupt trade routes. Everywhere they struck, they vanished before large fleets could arrive. Council commanders grew restless. They had prepared to crush Earth in one place, but now the humans scattered the fight across many systems. Their fleets, large and heavy, could not move fast enough to catch the small human groups. In the chamber of the council, the debates grew louder. The Drawl shouted for more power, demanding that all member races send fleets to destroy humanity once and for all. The Ilari warned that such anger would only make the humans bolder. Merchants complained of lost profit. Colonies feared raids. Whispers spread among smaller races that humans might become the symbol of resistance against the old powers. The galaxy had never seen such a turn before, a young race not only surviving, but daring to strike back. On Earth, news of the counterattacks filled the cities with pride. Citizens cheered for the crews who had carried the fight into the stars. Songs and speeches spoke of unity, of courage, and of a new future where Earth would no longer kneel before any council. Yet behind the pride was also fear. Every strike made humanity stronger, but also brought greater danger. Everyone knew the council would not stay silent. A storm was gathering, larger than anything Earth had ever faced. In one quiet moment, President Daniel looked out of a window over the night sky. He spoke softly, though only General Harris was there to hear. "We have shown them we are not weak. But the hardest battles are still ahead. When their great fleets rise, the world will know if our courage is enough." General Harris nodded. His voice was firm. "Then we must be ready. Because if we stand together, no storm can break us." And so, under the silent stars, humanity pressed forward. No longer was Earth only defending its home. It was reaching out, striking blows that echoed across the galaxy. The hunter had left its cage, and the council now faced an enemy unlike any they had ever known. The council chamber was tense. Reports from the front lines of human counterattacks filled the crystal screens. Ships destroyed, supply lines cut, jump gates held by Earth fleets. For the first time in history, the council faced a young race that did more than survive. They struck with skill, courage, and speed. The Drawl representative slammed his claws on the table. "We must bring every fleet. We cannot allow these humans to defy us. Every ship we send will crush them, no matter the cost." The Ilari representative, calm as always, raised a hand. "And if we send every fleet? If we push harder, will we gain obedience or will we awaken something far greater?" Her voice echoed through the chamber. She had watched the reports, studied every move humans made, and could not deny their ingenuity. The younger races began to speak. "We have watched humans fight. They are not only clever, they work together in ways we have never seen. If we attack again, we may unite them further. They may grow too powerful to control." Some merchants whispered to one another, worried for trade and profit. Colonies sent messages in panic, fearing raids from human ships that now moved freely across nearby systems. The once solid council was breaking, not with one voice, but with many doubts. On Earth, the leaders studied their successes. President Daniel and General Harris met with fleet commanders to plan the next moves. "They are divided," Daniel said. "The council is unsure. We must act wisely, but boldly. Every strike we make now shows the galaxy that Earth will not be ignored." A young officer spoke up. "Sir, some fleets are weak. If we target their supply lines and depots, we can force them to retreat further. We can avoid large battles until we are ready. Daniel nodded. Exactly. Precision is more important than numbers. We fight smart, not reckless. That is our strength. Meanwhile, across the stars, council commanders met in secret. The Draal was furious, unwilling to admit defeat. The Koran growled at every report, angry that humans had outsmarted them. The Ilari alone spoke of caution, warning that pushing too hard would unite humans and other young species. Whispers began to circulate among smaller races. The Tailor, the Riven, and even the quiet Sarin began to hope. If humans could resist the council, perhaps they too could rise. Stories of human bravery, clever tactics, and unexpected victories traveled faster than fleets. The galaxy slowly began to see Earth not as a minor planet, but as a symbol of strength. On Earth, citizens celebrated the victories quietly. Soldiers returned to stations, repaired fleets, and trained for the battles ahead. Schools spoke of unity and courage. Families shared news of human crews who had outsmarted council patrols. Pride spread through the population like fire, but so did awareness of the danger that still loomed. President Daniel addressed his people in a message broadcast to the world. We have shown that we can defend our home. But the true challenge lies ahead. The council may bring its full force, and we must be ready. Stand together, work together, and the future will belong to those who do not yield. The humans did not seek glory. They sought survival and the right to live free. That simple truth gave them courage. Every ship that launched from hidden stations carried that purpose. Every weapon fired, every mission completed, sent the same message across the stars: Earth was no longer a passive world. Back in the council chamber, tension grew. The old powers argued with one another. Some demanded immediate total war. Others, quieter voices, warned of consequences. The first strike of humanity had not only defeated fleets but shaken the confidence of centuries-old leaders. For the first time, fear and respect mixed in the hearts of the council. Small cracks in their unity were visible to all who watched. The younger races, once silenced by the might of the council, began to speak up. They no longer feared reprisal. The humans had shown that even a young world could challenge the galaxy's oldest powers. And in the shadows, human spies and scouts observed the council's movements. Every hesitation, every disagreement among the alien leaders, was noted. Every weakness was catalogued for the battles to come. Humanity had not only fought back, they had taught the galaxy to respect them. As the stars watched, it became clear that the war had changed. Earth was no longer only defending. It had become a force that could strike, inspire, and challenge. The Council's grip on the galaxy was no longer absolute. Cracks had formed in centuries of authority, and the humans stood ready to show how wide those cracks could grow. The galaxy was waking up to a truth long ignored: the humans of Earth were not a race to underestimate. They were clever, united, and unstoppable when driven by purpose. The Council could no longer treat them as children. They would have to face them as equals, or suffer the consequences. The Council had grown restless. Its fleets, once confident and proud, were battered and demoralized. Reports from the front lines showed that humans were striking with precision and daring. Supply stations destroyed, patrols defeated, jump gates controlled. For the first time, a young race had forced the Council to hesitate. In the Crystal Chamber, voices clashed. The Draal shouted demands for more fleets. The Koran growled with frustration, insisting that their pride had been wounded and must be avenged. The Ilari alone remained calm. We cannot underestimate them, she warned. Humans fight differently. They adapt. They learn from every encounter. If we attack without caution, we may lose more than we gain. But the Council was stubborn. Pride outweighed caution. Soon, the largest armada in centuries gathered. Ships from every major race moved in formation, engines burning bright against the darkness of space. The plan was simple: crush Earth completely, destroy its fleets, and force humans to surrender. Back on Earth, President Daniel studied the incoming fleets. He did not flinch. "They bring all their strength," he said to his generals. "This will be the greatest challenge we face. But we have learned from every battle. We know their weaknesses. We know how to fight them." General Harris nodded. "We will not wait behind walls. We will use every advantage we have. The humans are ready." Hidden fleets moved into positions near the edges of the solar system. They did not form large lines like the Council fleets. Instead, they spread out, using asteroids, moons, and hidden paths to remain invisible until the last moment. Every ship had a specific mission, some to strike directly at enemy weapons, others to disable engines, and some to capture Council technology for study. When the Council armada entered the system, they expected an easy victory. They fired long-range weapons at Earth's defenses, aiming to destroy satellites, stations, and fleets before any humans could respond. The first beams struck, but they met an unexpected resistance. Shielded stations absorbed impacts that should have torn them apart. Drones launched from hidden positions, dodging energy blasts, and striking at the Council ships with deadly accuracy. Human ships moved like shadows, appearing where they were least expected. One strike group disabled a Draal supply fleet. Another captured a jump gate, cutting off reinforcements. Each time the Council believed they had blocked the humans, new tactics appeared, testing their patience and skill. The turning point came when a massive Koran battleship moved to destroy an asteroid-based human station. The humans anticipated the attack. Swarms of drones flew ahead, guiding missiles that struck the battleship from angles no Council commander had predicted. The massive ship shook violently, then exploded, sending debris in every direction. For the first time, the Council armada hesitated. Pride was replaced by doubt. They had never seen a young species use strategy, creativity, and adaptation with such skill. Every loss weakened morale. Officers questioned decisions. Plans that had been flawless on paper failed in execution. On Earth, the atmosphere was tense but determined. Citizens followed news of the battle, cheering every victory while praying for the safety of those in space. Scientists and engineers worked without rest, repairing fleets and preparing new tactics. Every action had one purpose: to defend their world and prove humanity's strength. The Ilari representative watched the reports with quiet amazement. She spoke to herself in the Council chamber. If this is what they do at home, what might they achieve beyond it? Her words carried a warning that few others were willing to hear. The Council armada tried again, adjusting strategies, concentrating fire, and moving faster. Yet the humans were always one step ahead. They captured enemy supplies, outmaneuvered patrols, and used captured weapons against their makers. Every human action taught the galaxy a lesson: cleverness, courage, and unity could overcome overwhelming power. As the battle raged, the balance of the war shifted. The Council fleets no longer controlled the fight. Humans dictated the pace, striking where the enemy was weakest and disappearing before retaliation. The first strike of the Council had failed. Now, their largest armada faced defeat at the hands of a species they had underestimated. The Council leaders realized that Earth was no ordinary world. It was clever, united, and unyielding. For the first time, the galaxy understood that humanity was not to be crushed. They would not bow. They would not yield. They had become a force to be reckoned with. And in the heart of the solar system, as human fleets prepared for the next wave of battle, one truth was clear: the turning point had arrived. Humanity had proven that strength was not measured by size, but by will, unity, and the courage to fight against impossible odds. The galaxy had begun to change, and the Council had no choice but to face it. The battle had ended. The great fleets of the Council, once so proud, had been forced to retreat. They could no longer deny the truth: humanity had not only defended its home but had struck with precision, courage, and intelligence that no one had expected. The galaxy had changed. In the council chamber, silence hung heavy. For the first time, the leaders of the oldest races could not speak with certainty. Their armadas had failed, their plans had been disrupted, and their pride had been broken. The Droll representative, usually loud and commanding, sat with lowered eyes. Even the Koran, fierce and unyielding, was quiet. Only the Ilari looked calm, though her thoughts were serious. Young humans, she said quietly to the chamber, have proven that a species can rise through unity, courage, and intelligence. We cannot treat them as before. They are equals now. If we do not recognize this, we risk further conflict that could destroy us all. The words echoed across the chamber. Some council members hesitated. Others nodded slowly. The debate had shifted. The humans were no longer a threat to be destroyed, they were a power that could no longer be ignored. Across the stars, humanity prepared to meet the council on its own terms. President Daniel and General Harris convened with commanders of the fleets. They had proven their strength, but the war had taught them humility. We did not start this war, Daniel said. But we have shown the galaxy that we will not bow. Now, we must build not just ships, but alliances and respect. We cannot stop here. Human fleets moved slowly through the outer systems, no longer striking in secret but openly demonstrating their strength. Colonies that had once been quiet now celebrated, sending envoys to speak with humans and learn from their courage. Humanity's message was clear: Earth would not be conquered, but it also sought peace and fairness in the galaxy. The Council had no choice but to respond. A delegation was sent to Earth. Representatives arrived in ships of silver and crystal, their leaders wary but respectful. The humans did not greet them with weapons. Instead, they met in council chambers built beneath the cities, symbols of human unity and strength. President Daniel welcomed them. You came expecting obedience, he said calmly. You found courage. You found determination. Let us now find understanding. We do not seek war. We seek respect, fairness, and the right to live free in the galaxy. The council representatives listened carefully. Many were still cautious, but a new awareness had grown. Humans had demonstrated more than strength, they had shown intelligence, unity, and moral courage. These qualities were rare in the galaxy, and now they demanded recognition. Young races, observing the talks, began to hope. The Tailor, the Riven, and others had watched humanity rise. If humans could challenge the oldest powers and survive, perhaps they too could claim freedom and fairness. Earth had become a symbol, not just of strength, but of inspiration. In the chamber, agreements were made. Earth's right to self-governance was recognized. Human representatives were granted seats in the council, their voices no longer dismissed as the opinions of a weak race. The council, once certain of its superiority, learned that strength was more than size, and courage more than centuries of tradition. On Earth, citizens celebrated not with conquest, but with pride. Schools told stories of courage and unity. Engineers and scientists worked to expand humanity's reach into the stars. Soldiers who had fought in hidden fleets returned to their families, honored for defending their home. The world had survived, and now it was ready to rise. Even in the council, respect grew. Leaders spoke differently of humans now, no longer as children to be controlled, but as equals to be heard. The galaxy had changed because of a single planet that refused to bow. Earth had reshaped the order of power, proving that determination, intelligence, and courage could change history. President Daniel looked at the night sky from the council chamber on Earth. Stars stretched far into darkness, but now they seemed different. Not threats, not distant points of control, but paths of opportunity. Humanity had fought for its place among the stars, and it had earned it. The message was clear across the galaxy: Earth was no longer a world to be underestimated. Humans had fought back, united, and triumphed not through conquest alone but through courage, wisdom, and moral strength. The Council had learned, and other species had watched, inspired by the rise of a race that would no longer bow. Humanity had not just survived, it had changed the galaxy forever. The new order had begun, and Earth stood at its center, ready to shape a future where courage, unity, and justice were the true measures of power.